The Trilogy of Koker starts with no intention of being a trilogy. It is rather the critics who gave it this name, and due to the fact that the 3 films take place in the village of Koker. In this video, we will discuss 5 motives that these 3 films share. The search, the use of contemplative shots, image time, intertextuality, relationships between sons and parents. These films are Where is My Friend's House in 1978 and Life Goes On in 1992 and Through the Olive Trees in 1995. The first film of the trilogy is Where is My Friend's House, which is an Iranian realist film, or rather poetic realist film about Ahmed who searches for his friend's house Muhammad to return a homework notebook, otherwise he will be punished by the teacher. In this film, the motive of the search is established as the lead of the narrative. In the second film, And Life Goes On, the film is about the search of the director of the film Where is My Friend's House. He goes on a journey with his son to Koker to find the actors of this film after the village had been hit by a devastating earthquake. And Through the Olive Trees is a drama documentary about the depiction of the off-screen relationship between the newlywed couple despite the earthquake. It is nearly a search of Kiarostami trying to find hope and love in the aftermath of death. 1. The search. In the first film, Ahmed never finds Muhammad's house, and no one of the characters he meets along the way during his search is keen to help him. In the second film, And Life Goes On, the director and his son Puya set out on a journey from Tehran to Koker in the aftermath of the earthquake that hit Koker to find Ahmed and his friend Muhammad that he filmed in Where is My Friend's House, to find out if they are alive or not. Along the search journey, they meet with the people of that area and they witness the devastating effects of the earthquake, and somehow they manage not to find these 2 kids. In the third film, Through the Olive Trees, the search of love and hope is never concluded since we never know if Tahira accepted Hussein. It seems yes, but we actually never know. The search motive in these 3 films is half-made, or in other words, the audience never witnesses its conclusion. The zigzag path that Ahmed used to go to Potish to find his friend's house is used again and again through the other 2 films as a narrative tool to emphasize the search motive. And in Life Goes On, the director has a flashback of Ahmed running up that zigzag path. And lastly, in Through the Olive Trees, the path appears again as Hussein is searching for an answer from Tahira whether she agrees to marry him or not. The search represents in this trilogy the uncertainty of the characters in finding what they are looking for, what they are searching for. The uncertainty of the director himself in finding hope and love after the disaster. 2. Contemplative use of shots. In the first film, Where is My Friend's House, and due to the fact that the film is made as a realist and a poetic aesthetic, it is nearly as if Abbas Kiarostami is contemplating his character's emotions and inner world, the location and the interactions between characters and space. In the second film, And Life Goes On, the actor that plays the role of the director has several contemplating moments. The first seems to indicate that the director is contemplating yet another film, and another moment is when the director is inside a destroyed house, witnesses the beauty of nature through a window, and also it's Abbas Kiarostami is contemplating his own presence and memory in this place after he shot the first film. In the third film, in which he reproduces his memories and tries to relate to Koker in another new way through the characters of Tahira and Hussein, and leaves the contemplation to the audience, witnessing the moment when Hussein tries to convince Tahira of his love in the last scene of the film. Image time. The use of long takes in the 3 films appear to record the landscape, the destruction of the earthquake. As Deleuze put it, these are pure optical and sound situations in which the character does not know how to respond, abandoned spaces in which he ceases to experience and to act so that he enters into flight, goes on a trip, comes and goes, vaguely indifferent as to what happens to him, undecided as to what must be done, but he has gained the ability to see what he has lost in action or reaction. He sees so that the viewer's problem, what is there to see in this image, and not now what are we going to see in the next image. The image time concept in this trilogy is used in several moments when Ahmed sees action developing, albeit the director in And Life Goes On witnesses the death, the burying in the improvised cemetery. Being a director, that act of seeing demands from him to translate what he sees into cinematic image. Intertextuality. This approach was used heavily in And Life Goes On and in Through the Olive Trees. As mentioned in the conversation between Jamshid Akrami and Godfrey Shishire, the slate that appears in And Life Goes On, it reads Through the Olive Trees. Obviously, there is endless references, but in the opening scene of Through the Olive Trees, there is an actor. He presents himself as the director of a film about a director making a film. In Through the Olive Trees, there is a scene where the director sits with Hussein wearing his shoe. This is made in multiple takes where the crew themselves are seen in the scene and the actors from Where Is My Friend's House appear in that scene as well. The presence of Mr. Rawhi again in And Life Goes On in itself is an intertextuality and is emphasized even more when Pooya asks him about his real home and film home. And again, Mr. Rawhi searches for the water bowl. He wants to serve water to Pooya but cannot find it, and he asks the director, and the script girl runs to get it to him. Though in her book, Death 24 per Second, Laura Mulvey insists in drawing parallelism between And Life Goes On and Journey to Italy. In my personal opinion, there is one scene that references another film of Rossellini, Germany Year Zero, when the little Pooya is wandering between the destruction, and in opposition to what happens in Germany Year Zero, where the boy who wanders in destroyed buildings commits suicide, here Pooya finds a broken vase of a chicken and tries to fix it, as if bringing life to a broken material. Relations between sons and parents. In the first film, Where Is My Friend's House, Ahmed is trying to tell his mother about his trouble, but she is not paying attention at all to his worry. But rather, she gives him orders to do things around the house. When Ahmed arrives at Potish, there is a dialogue between old men about how kids should be raised and how their parents used to beat them every night to make them better men serving the society. When Ahmed goes back home after his failed search, there is a scene he's sitting on the floor. He seems to have been beaten by his father in an elliptic scene. All this comes in contrast to the relationship of Pooya with his father, who plays the role of the director. Pooya is in the present moment. He is concerned about his needs to go to the toilet or having a drink, oblivious to the worries of his father searching for Ahmed and Muhammad. Pooya finds a woman on the water spring. He sees her washing her kids' feet and talks to her how her alive kids should appreciate life even more now after they have lost their sibling. To sum it up, the Trilogy of Koker, although initially not conceived as such, earned its title due to the shared setting of the three films in the village of Koker. Across these films, Where Is My Friend's House, And Life Goes On, and Through the Olive Trees, 5 motives are recurrent: the search, contemplative shots, image time, intertextuality, and relations between sons and parents. The motive of search permeates the trilogy, exemplified by Ahmed's futile quest in the first film to find his friend's house, and the director's journey in the aftermath of an earthquake in the second film to locate the actors from that first film. This motive remains unresolved, symbolizing the uncertainty of the characters and the director in finding what they seek. Contemplative shots characterize the films, allowing Abbas Kiarostami to delve into characters' emotions, the landscape, and interactions within the space. These shots serve as a moment of reflection for both characters and the director, contemplating their surroundings and personal connections. Image time, as described by Deleuze, captures prolonged moments where characters observe without action, prompting viewers to ponder the significance of each frame. This concept is particularly evident in scenes of devastation following the earthquake, where characters confront loss and uncertainty. Intertextuality is employed through references to previous films within the trilogy, blurring the lines between reality and fiction, scenes featuring actors from prior films, and nods to Kiarostami's own presence highlight the interconnectedness of his cinematic universe. The dynamics between sons and parents reflect generational differences and societal expectations. Ahmed struggles for attention from his parents, contrast with Booya's carefree attitude towards his father's concern in the second film. These relationships offer insight into themes of responsibility, familial bonds, and resilience in the face of tragedy. Overall, the Trilogy of Koker intertwines these motives to explore themes of search, contemplation, time, intertextuality, and familiar relationships, inviting viewers to reflect on the complexities of human experiences amidst the backdrop of a changing landscape.